Love and lust. Sometimes people really love, but people cannot avoid instinctive lust, and when it has arisen, it turns love into sex. In love, nothing will be sustainable if we fall madly in love and then think lustful thoughts. It will lose what we have tried for a lasting love. Don't let things go too far. I tried to call her in the middle of the night, partly because I missed her, partly because I wanted to satisfy my lust. But she's not the type of girl who goes to bed with everyone, so she doesn't listen to my phone calls. I guess she was snickering when she saw my number flashing on the screen, but somehow I kept calling. I called over and over again 23 times and had to give in to you. I'm a man. If I play girls, I have to choose girls really well, girls with innocent faces, for example, or girls who don't flirt with many people. In other words, I like sex with good girls. The girls who slept with me were, of course, the half-hearted girls who always lacked vigilance to create incidents for me to throw on the bed. I like that incident. I don't like violence when it comes to love. I like gentleness, but being gentle with bad girls seems too wasteful, yet another reason for me to go to bed with good girls. Actually, the line between bad girls and girls. They are very fragile, sometimes confused with each other, difficult to distinguish true from false. A good girl wishes for a comfortable sex, wants to satisfy her instincts, and a slut longing for a peaceful day without sex, not knowing which one to judge over the other. To make sure, I only sleep with girls I know. The pleasure of remaining friends after undressing that girl, to me, is a fascinating hobby. I'm only 25 years old, maybe I still want to play around for a while. But to me, you are more special. I pursued her when I was in high school. Every time I was splashed with cold water in the face, once beating was more painful than eating green ice. For a geek like me, being embarrassed over and over again by a girl with a milky face is a real humiliation. At that time, she was the object for us to bet on. I was eager to win, wanted to show my girl-killing bravery, took the initiative to approach her while many other guys were still hesitant to take action. Unexpectedly, I was given a brick by my sister, and my face was swollen. Being laughed at by my friends, I was determined to cut you down at all costs. Eating bricks will also be stubborn. I changed my strategy to pursue her, using the motto both handsome and tough and have money to make her fall in love. But, calling her ice is not an exaggeration, she completely ignored me. On the contrary, she openly hated me and even chased me away whenever I approached. I suspect that the reason she hates me is because of my excessively affluent lifestyle. Just by listening to a few lines of school resume, it's obvious that no girl wants to mess around with a guy who's amorous, even a wretch like me. However, there was no shortage of girls who were willing to fall in my lap. I had to play around for a few weeks and then say goodbye harshly, even though they cried like rain. Conquering your heart is a battle. I've tried everything, I've got it, but there's no hope. The more I failed, the more pale I became, determined to remove the honor. If I can break you down, I will kick you within 7 notes, even leave an imprint on your body for you to taste the humiliation, then immediately find another hot girl to fill in. And you will cry freely, begging me to give you love. That girl with a milky face, just looking at her face makes my blood boil to my brain, let alone love. Now that I think about it, it's clear that hatred at that time overshadowed my love, making me deny my feelings for you. Exactly, I love you so much, I love you 10 if I hate you, but I still stubbornly refuse to admit it to everyone, still insisting that my pursuit of you is simply a game. Contrary to the eloquent words that came out of my mouth, everyone smiled because all my actions for her accused me of being a lover. But, no matter how stubborn I was, I finally had to admit that I really loved you. From that moment on, everything changed suddenly. I became quiet, no longer swaggering. I stopped attacking her like before, but only glanced at her with eyes of affection mixed with a little bit of concern. I started to study properly and tried to work part-time at night at the cafe near the school. Falling in love for the first time made me think that I need to improve myself. That evening, a normal and rainy day, I went to the cafe alone, chose a hidden corner to sit, immersed in the book in my hand. I brought water for her. She still didn't raise her eyes to look, slowly turning the pages of the book, smiling slightly. I can't say hello. With her personality, she could throw that thick book in my face if I unintentionally made her angry. From the bar counter, I stared at her, wondering why she went alone and stayed at the bar for so long. The clock ticked to 10 o'clock at night. My heart was on fire. That demon girl, who hasn't come home yet, likes to let people worry. You don't look like you're ready to go home. It was still raining outside. The fire seemed to burn to my brain. I asked the manager to leave early, borrow the umbrella from the shop, and then walked over to the table where she was sitting. Baby, it's too late. Go back. Where's this kind of chasing guests? She looked up at me, folded the book, and frowned slightly. I pulled her hand, pulled her out, this time determined not to fear or yield to her. But she didn't seem to want to oppose me, obediently followed. I opened the parachute, pulled her close to me, and went home together. Why are you just sitting there? I asked irritably, are you worried? I'm waiting for someone. Wait, who? I asked weakly, feeling my heart ache. Boyfriend? Lover? And that person let me climb the tree? I wait you. Huh? I almost shouted. I smile, even the smile is as emotionless as iceberg. I hesitated a bit before that smile, suddenly stammering. Wait, you, why? I nodded, a calm expression on my face. What have you done to offend me? I tried to live a decent life, I think I love you. The girl whose face was full of milk said a sobering sentence. Huh? This time I really shouted. The wind blew so hard that the parachute almost blew away. I stood looking at her hunched over, looking like an idiot. Love you? I asked a silly question again. Yes. I nodded. Why, are you not satisfied? I just stood there dumbfounded. Don't say anything, don't hug me. Feelings are frozen. I thought I was dreaming, a fool was dreaming. For some reason, my eyes were wet. I panicked, put the umbrella in her hand, rushed home under the freezing rain, leaving her standing alone in the middle of the street. I dashed into my room, the floor soaking wet as I passed. I sat for a long time. Looks like I was in shock. Being loved but shocked, the world must be only me. My mother had to work hard to drag me to the toilet, so I had the strength to shower and change into a dry suit. I climbed into bed, covered myself with blankets, daydreamed for a while and then fell asleep. I was startled at 4 a.m., grabbed my phone and texted her. I said, I love you too. When I pressed the send button, my hands were shaking. There was a message from me, the same way of talking indifferently. I said, yes, I know. I let out a long sigh, feeling like I was being played. While cursing me under my breath, another message came. This time, I almost dropped the phone in my hand. I love you, I'll say it one more time. That is the purest memory of a gentleman like me. After loving each other for a while, happiness is too complete. I gradually reveal the idea of wanting to put her in bed. I erased the thought of throwing you away. I just wanted to be close to you to possess you. It seems that when in love, all men want to possess both the body and soul of a woman. Love cannot be without sex, that concept. Who disagrees? I consider myself a crazy lunatic. Love, even sacred, cannot go beyond gross categories. Every time I kiss her, I want to put my hand on her chest, gently unbutton her shirt, push her down on the bed and kiss every corner of her body. Sow a thought, reap an action. I finally did it with you. To be frank, you are against me. But, when a man decided to seduce his lover, he suddenly became a genius. His mouth was that of a snake, his eyes were full of the dark look of the devil, and his body did not stop. Do crazy things. I give you all the care that a man can give a woman, first because I love her very much, secondly, because she is a virgin. Her face is still serene and calm even though she has turned into a woman. I love sleeping with her. She's so beautiful and innocent that my lustful instincts rise up every time I look at her. Between a girl whose body is full of sex and a girl who exudes purity and holiness, people want to imprint on the second girl. Only white paper can print, black paper can't print anymore. During university, my brother and I studied at two different schools, and he had to work as a tutor, so we didn't see each other often. At that time, I met another girl in the department, beautiful, talented, and very personable. I like it, trying to flirt for fun. Without you by my side, I feel like I'm a free person, doing whatever I want. I hang around with a few other girls and will return to my only daughter, you. In a few years I will marry you as my wife, so I allow myself to fly around during this time of my youth, as long as I keep it a secret from her. The girl I'm flirting with isn't like her, she's lively and cunning, she's cold and aggressive. I flirted with that friend, teasing her. After all these years, my ability to see girls is worthy of a degree, plus a handsome and stylish appearance, of course, no girl can ignore it. That's how girls are, lovers are not simply lovers, but also an item for them to brag about. Showing off a good guy from head to toe is better than showing off a ticklish guy. The other girl agreed to go to bed with me very quickly, falling in love with me. I also like her, beautiful and good at making love, studying well, not stupid like other girls who love to dress up. On the days of going to the lecture hall, listening to lectures and yawning, as long as the two met each other's eyes, they understood the meaning of pulling each other out to the motel, agonizing until the evening to return home. I still love you, but the new love makes me crazy, like it's my way to reheat all my feelings. After years of being with you, even deep feelings cannot avoid the law of deposition and boredom. I decided to jump into the risky game, but still awake enough to remind myself that I would stop immediately if I saw any signs of danger. That day, she took the initiative to meet me at the old cafe. When I got there, I saw that she looked different, more beautiful and cold, but pale. I suddenly remembered that it had been a month since the two of you had seen each other. Looking at you, my heart beats wildly like before. She motioned for me to sit down, tucked her hair behind her ear, stirred the glass of water with a small spoon with an expressionless face. I ask you to disappear from my life, within 5 minutes. I only met you exactly 5 minutes. She said, each word slowly and softly falling through her teeth, her clear eyes looking at me invisible. What do you say? She smiled softly and ran her hand through her hair. She kept contacting me. What right does she have to annoy me? Because of a bad man like you? I'm dumbfounded. Do you like making love? She looked at me, smiling slightly. I couldn't believe my ears. That girl, the girl who was facing me, her face too holy, was saying very heavy words. Is that the sexual instinct you used to tell me? I don't distinguish between love and instinctive sex. Sex is sex, don't try to categorize it. I tell him, when he sleeps with me, I find it disgusting. The reason? Because you said you did it for love. Make love instinctively, do you feel more comfortable? She asked, looking straight into my eyes, her fingers tapping on the table in an uncomfortable rhythm. When there is no damn reason sex for love, he freely tramples her, no need to hold, no need to gently undress. You're free to present yourself as a male beast, and she'll love it. What is instinctive? It is trivial, but not disgusting, even natural and dignified. I glanced at my watch and smiled. My face is covered with a layer of cold frost. She threw the water bill on the table and said to me, not even 5 minutes, but come on, I'm leaving. Seems like 5 minutes is a bit too much. Maybe I need to relearn how to estimate the most reasonable price for valuable and non-valuable things in life. I stood up and left the table. After a few steps, she stopped and added, the money I left behind, there is a surplus. You bring and buy a condom, don't let her get pregnant. I know you won't get married, so don't try to fuck people. I drive straight. I looked at the bill she left on the table so much that I wanted to fall out of my eyes. My words kept ringing, chaotic and crazy. My angel, what have I turned you into? I pulled out my phone and dialed the girl's number. I dragged her into the hotel, almost raping her. I don't buy condoms. All done, I said goodbye. And now, I call you again, the 24th call.